Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all on frequency. This is ZA6YI hosting the worldwide DATV Net again this Sunday. Welcome aboard. We have a number of people on, and so it will be a very interesting program today, we hope. We also just wish to, as usual, thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to have an amateur satellite attached to their big commercial satellite. We wish to thank the BATC. We also wish to thank AMSAT DL and, of course, AMSAT UK, organizations that have made it possible for amateur radio to operate via this mode. And it's certainly been very interesting and enjoyed by all. So we do wish to thank those different companies and clubs and organizations for a wonderful set of circumstances that we can be on this. Today, let's just go and have a look at the list. To the main scene. So, Beno, if you wouldn't mind taking the micro, dear sir. Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray, to take it from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India. Take it from Zulu. Microphone on, yes. Hi Gary, we are on the air, a bit low on the audio I believe, but we have a lot of people here, and I am not PA3 FBX this weekend, but PA100 kilo mic. I have a shaky cam here, so in my hand, so this is the group of the station. I will show you a little video of what we built here, and so I will show you that video first, Gary. So the first thing what says nobody surprises, well, let's see. What we have here is, this is our setup at the moment. You see a bunch of HF, VHF antennas, 16 till 20 meters high, and this is our current setup. And
We are fortunately to have an EME station here, and I will make a flyby over that one, which probably interests most of us on the satellite. So I pan a little bit out, and that's our pride and joy. The 25-meter dish, which is being available by the Astrom for our ham purpose and investigation of the sky above us. Unfortunately, I'm not able to use it. That's why I'm a little bit low on the power. I only have 1 meter dish at the moment, and I cannot use this 25 meter. But for the people who want to know, they have made 1 or 2 tests, and with 1 or 2 milliwatts, they upset Mrs. Lila. So obviously, we are not able to use this dish for the QO-100. You can imagine we are transmitting on 70 centimeters, 20 centimeters, 23 centimeters, and higher for Moon EME support. So I also make this my last transmission because I have problems with my amplifier heating up. It's running most main power. It's running up to the max of the power, so we are doing only 1 over, and we are going to shut down this weekend, and this will be the last and formal transmission of PA-100 kilo mic.
Yeah. Hi everybody. Okay. All right. Bye. 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 See you on the air. Bye bye.
Hi Beno, PA 100 kilo mic, and everybody there with him from ZS1 Mike in Worcester, 70 miles from Cape Town. Yes, excellent. Whoa, what a nice dish, eh? You must have been itching to to plug into it. Yeah, yes, so we have a 10 meter at work, and even that I've often felt, yeah, maybe I must make a plan. But anyway, okay, that was very nice flight there. Or, I don't know whether you did it with a drone or what, Beno, but very, very nice setup there, and lots of portable / mobile HF and VHF antennas and so on, and a nice facility where you set up there. Very good. Okay, I don't have anything technical today. I'm busy trying to draw a 2.4 gig little amplifier. It has to be very small. I have the devices. It's a multi-stage device. It's 3mm by 3mm. So it doesn't need much, but it needs lots of wires. So my normal PC board program I cannot use for that, because I normally do my own PC boards. But this thing needs a lot of through-hole plating as well. So now I'm trying to learn KiCad. My word. A friend of mine uses it, but only once in a year or so. So he couldn't help me too much. So I'm busy with it now. Any help will be welcome. I've got the thing now in the PCB page, but how do I go from there? How do I export it or whatever? Make Gerber files or what? I must still. I've downloaded some tutorials on it, but there's so many versions, and I've got the latest version of the program, and the way they describe it, no, look on the taskbar over there. No, mine's not like that, So yes, but anyway, it's taking time, but I guess I'll get it right in the end. And then I'm going to ask you guys, where's the address of that place where you have your boards made, Beno? somewhere in China, and how do you contact them, how do you pay them, and all those sort of things. So I have a very, very steep learning curve now with having PC boards made, because I've always made them myself. And now I'm forced to use this new program, which is the guys at work, the juniors, they used to use KiCad. The professionals, they use a thing called Edlin or Edwin or something, a very, very expensive thing. You need a license for each and every operator using that program. Very sophisticated, and I'm not interested in it at all. KiCad is already too complicated for me. But I must say it's fantastic, eh? I was very impressed when I found all the onboard calculators and things to calculate your strip line impedances and everything. Very nice. Anyway, enough from me. I shall now... Oh, Gary, I have a question for you, but I'll ask you later. Tom, over to you. ZR6 Tango Golf for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Thanks there, Leon. ZS1 Mike here from Zulu. Thanks there, Leon. This is Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf. Okay, audio seems to be working. Hello everybody on the net today and everybody that's watching. Hope everybody is well. And yeah, everything good on my side. It's getting a bit chilly here in South Africa, and we've had some unusual rain, so it's especially cold outside. But yeah, it's good because it means I'm inside behind the computer working on the software. But yeah, good to see everybody there. Beno, nice setup there, and hi to everybody there with you. And yeah, nice visuals. The audio was a bit low. Beautiful dish and beautiful surroundings there. It looked very good. And Leon, yeah, good to see you. KiCad, yeah, it's the learning curve is a bit tricky on that one. I myself have started playing with it, but I still need to learn a bit more as well. But for the PCBs, well, Beno can probably tell you better, but the one that we mostly use in China is JLC PCB. They've got a website. I know you don't like doing things on the internet there, but they've got a website. You just dump your Gerber files onto there, and it will kick out a quote or a price, and then you can just buy it, same as you would buy on Takealot or anything like that. So it's a fairly simple process. But yeah, you need to have your Gerbers ready for that point. Okay, from my side, haven't done much physical. Mostly just been playing more with OpenTuner, just trying to improve it and get more bugs out of the way. And the latest thing that I've wanted to play with was upgrade was the chat section. So I've put in the chat section not too long ago, the same chat as on the website, but it was a bit sterile and a bit unusable. Well, not unusable, but it just wasn't as comfortable as the original one. So I did what any person would do and just copied the look and feel of the BATC one. So let me show you this one there. So this is what the chat looks like inside the latest OpenTuner, and very similar to the website, except well, with a couple of improvements. For one, word wrapping works beautifully, so you don't need to scroll just to see complete messages. And then also all the links inside the chat now works as well. So you'll see there I posted a link to OpenTuner. Just tells you, do you want to follow the link? If you say yes, it opens up a different screen here, but there you go, it jumps to the website. So that makes things a bit easier, less copying and pasting. And then one of the changes was suggested by Chris, Delta Hotel 3 CS, if I remember correctly. And that is that we can actually put our list of nicknames here. We can actually click on all of these names. Let's see the last nickname. There you can see it jumps to Matt last chat basically indicates that. We'll leave it too loud. Or alternative there is that you can jump to mine, so you can see all the chats beautifully, it's in color, and it points out the different chats and nicknames and such. Turn the volume down a bit better. Oh, it's still playing the music. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't realize it was playing the music, so apologies. Hopefully you guys can hear me better now. Okay, yeah, so like I was saying, I implemented the chat, made it look similar to the version in or the BATC version 1, and it gives you the option of a proper word wrap, like you can see there. I think Mike, you still requested that. And then it also gives you the option of selecting names from the list. We can see last time Martin posted something there, jump to his chat there. Or if we go to Matt, jumps to his one there. So it's just an easier way to find specific things that people have said. What else is there? I'm working on the Longmint implementation. Basically change the code to add sources to it. Just jump back to the camera here. So that it jumps that it said we can specify different sources, so either be mini tuner hardware or Longmint or even Winterhill. I did run into a more of a design issue, as in, you know, adding something like Winterhill requires 4 video displays, which is all doable, but it starts taking away the ease of, you know, viewing the tuner values and such like that. So I still need to rethink a bit how I'm going to lay it all out, keep it all in one window, or maybe have separate windows for all the video views. The advantage of that is you can add multiple mini tuners and you know, have multiple views in the same app. The alternative also is you can also run multiple versions of OpenTuner and then just show different you know, different views of that. So I don't know, still I'm keen to hear what everybody else thinks. You know, do we do multiple windows or do we keep it all in one window? What will be the easiest? Okay, that's pretty much all it for me for now. Sorry about that background music. I don't realize the music was playing. Okay, I'm gonna hand it over to Martin, G8KOE, here from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf.
Yeah, thanks there, Tom. Absolutely, yeah. So I've got some audio, I think I have, hopefully. Yep. Some audio. Okay. Yeah, I can't keep up with all the updates there, Tom. I was watching you do on the chat, which I was testing this end. I don't know whether it's a new addition that you've made, but here we go. I don't want loads of me, do I? Let's go to the main window. I noticed you were clicking on the left-hand side, and it highlighted green, which it doesn't seem to do for me. So maybe this is an earlier version. It just was the @ person in the bottom there. But that was anything I did notice. But absolutely brilliant. I can actually read it. Thank you. That's all right. It's good there, Tom. Yeah, let's go back to me and the camera. your updates come thick and fast, and I've missed so many things. Like I missed the disabled the time stream video down at the bottom of the little tick box. I missed that at one stage. But sometimes it's yeah, no, it's good, all good. What have I been up to? I've been playing with another PA, which is what I'm testing at the moment, which is one of these. Let's start that going. Very simple little PA. Yeah, I must admit that there she goes, put in a small box. Bit of an overkill maybe, but it gets hot in the garage, or will do. So it's just one of those little tiny ones. The advantage being that it was able to connect it to a large heatsink as such, i.e. the case. And need very little modifications to it to pop it in. But it was the cooling side that I wanted to get on top of. So let's see. It's not the case. Then I thought I would add some fans to it. And I sort of hunted around to see what fans I had kicking about without buying any. So we've added that amount of fans on the top at the moment, which seems to keep it cool reasonably well. At the moment it's sitting at like 26 degrees. But that's what we've been up to. It sits now on top of I had to extend the shelf in the garage because it's hanging over. But sits up there quite merrily. Let's go back to me. Yeah, I see. Mike's going to talk about. Oh, I thought it was blue teeth before. Bluetooth. Oh, okay. I don't know what blue teeth were, but it seems to be Bluetooth now. Yeah, I use a Bluetooth headset, which I must admit I find quite useful, which is the one up here. Which box a treat if needed. Yeah, portable Beno, absolutely brilliant. Shame about the audio was a bit low, but doing something live and portable it's not easy. It's so well done on you. I've done anything portable for absolutely ages. I'm lazy just sitting at home. Comment on CAD stuff. Well, that's way beyond me. I wouldn't cope with it. Being a dyslexic person and rearranging things the opposite way round. And as I think I told the story before, a Mullard 520 amplifier. Used to get the book with all the dimensions of cutting the chassis, etc., which I cut it a mirror image. So it wasn't until after I'd cut all the holes, etc., that I realised it was wrong, but then had to build it with all the tag strip, etc., and everything didn't really match up neatly at all. But anyway, right. Yeah, I'll pass it around. I think it's Brian next, isn't it? He said I should put extra fan on. Don't just have one. Well, I've gone a little stage further there, Brian. So be ready. I'll put a test card and over to you. Oh, yeah, just before I disappear, I didn't make a second time last week because one of our cats was missing at the time, which was Boris. We hadn't seen him since sort of early morning, and I went out sort of trying to see whether he was locked in any of the neighbours' places. Anyway, eventually appeared about 9:30, 10:15. So I think he'd actually got locked in somewhere. He looked a little bit sort of lost for words. Lost cat, definitely. Yes. Oh, it works wonders, tuna, doesn't it? We've got tuna crunchies at the moment for the cat, but yeah, no, he's back. Boris is back, and Ruby is on the floor, I think. Oh, the camera doesn't want to work. Okay, for some reason that other camera didn't want to work. The only thing I was going to comment on, I've got FFmpeg in the top window as such on OpenTuner. Yeah, thanks for that, Gary. And that seems to lock in quicker than VRC, which is quite interesting. Probably a technical reason for that. Yeah, I'm waffling now. Other things I was supposed to say, I usually sort of pass it on and think, I should have mentioned about such and such, but I'll try and things there. Anyway, Brian, it's definitely going to be over to you. Test card and it's yours from GHKOE.
Oh, heard a little click there. So you check audio. Good. Yep. Okay, Martin. Yeah, fine on the fan amps. Yeah, I found, although my heatsink will only accept 2 fans, they're a pair of 120 mils with a temperature sensor, and I think I said to you they were ex-computer fans that had speed controller switches. You can go low, mid and high, and what I've done is on the heatsink, I think it's a 30 or 35 degree switch sensor, temp sensor, which basically, regardless of where the switch is, when the heatsink gets up to about 30 degrees, it kicks in the fans at full speed, overrides the switches. So that's what I've done with mine. Couple of things. Leon, I noticed, I think yesterday or the other day, your package is somewhere in the Emirates. So I think it says you should get it by the 11th, so I'll keep those crossed for you. What else? Mike G0MJW, the NIM PCB. I think I managed to get to the BATC shop. They were going like hotcakes. I think I was 5 when I clicked the purchase button on mine. So I've been busy doing that. This is how far we've got so far. I think, like most people, I've still got to find the 74HC10 chip, which is on order, but typical suppliers, you order everything one day, and the one thing that doesn't turn up is the 74 chip. I'm not sure about on the second if I need that 10k resistor. I did when I was doing programming tests and checks, bits and pieces. What else we've done? Thanks to Dave, G8GKQ, BATC, managed to get this working on the ports down, the DMM stuff, etc. And then for Tom, I've managed to get this far on the other screen. So still not managed to get it to auto boot. I still have to put commands in, but I think you said you can help with that, so that would be appreciated. So that's all mine. That I've been up this week. Not a lot else. I think that's it. Got all my little notes there. I'll looks a bit busy. So take it we're going to go around again. So I'll find a test card and hand it round to Phil. M0PIT G6HFS.
All right, just test if I've got audio. Yeah,
Let's kill that. Right. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Well, yeah, good net as always. Beno, that 3-metre dish, yeah, very nice. I wouldn't mind that, but I don't think the neighbours would like it. A bit too big for my garden. But I do know where there is a 3-metre dish, which is a mesh dish, and that's going to become available, but realistically I don't think it would go down very well if I had that in my garden. But yeah, I mean, the dish I've got at the moment is 1.8 and it's hidden behind a wooden fence, so not many people can see it, so I don't get any complaints. But yeah, Leon, the old PCBs, yeah, I've done PCBs. The old plated through holes is always a massive issue. But I have been given some, I don't know what the material is, but it's not fiberglass, and it is not ceramic, but it is basically for gigahertz frequencies. And I've got a nice bit of that kicking around. I'll have to find a project for it. But I've got the ultraviolet film, which is this blue film that you put onto the copper, and then you put a what would you call it, a mask over the top, which is your tracks, etc., and expose it to ultraviolet. I've used that, and it does work quite well, but I'm still back down to those plated through holes, so I can't do it. I'll probably, like most people, will have to go and get them manufactured elsewhere, probably in China. But there we go. What else? Yeah, Tom, your work on the old tuner stuff, fantastic, mate. Yeah, absolutely, fantastic. And the amount of time you spend on it, it's unreal, considering you've got a full-time job as well. But yeah, fantastic. And then Martin, you'd be glad to know that I've now, as of today, managed to get a new belt for my recorder, my tape recorder. So what I'm going to do at some point is I'm going to let you hear some of the old pirate radio station jingles that I've got, which will hopefully bring back some memories for you. Yeah, so that's yeah, so I managed to get that going today. And then your palette, your PA that you got, it's the same as mine, but I managed to get hold of it's about 110 by 110 by 110 honeycomb heatsink, and I've got that bolted to that, and I've got a fan which is 110 by 110, and that is 240 volt, and I've got that at one end blowing through the honeycomb. I mean, at the moment I'm sinking, what's that, 7.8 amps, well, say 8, yeah, about 8 amps, and the temperature is, even though it's in the sunshine, outside in a cabinet, so it's quite warm in the cabinet, and it's just sitting there at 33 degrees. The switch mode power supply in there is actually at 45, but the PA itself is sitting there at 33, so I'm quite pleased with that. What have I been doing during the week? Well, apart from trying to get over this blasted laryngitis that I've got, I haven't really done a great deal. I did have a play with DATV Easy, and as probably a lot of you know, I don't run Windows software. All my software here is Linux based. But I did find a spare PC kicking around, which was an i7, and I put Windows 10 on it. And it's a Virgin install, there's no other applications on it. I tried to turn off as much of the services that I could to make more power available to DATV. DATV Easy. Put it on it, loaded it okay, and it does work. The only issue that I've got with it at this point in time is even at very low symbol rates, running DVBS, and that is on what, 264. The signal will basically stop for a short period of time. It's a bit intermittent. And I've looked at the RF coming out of the Pluto, and it's definitely the RF that is missing. So I have no idea what that is about. I'm no expert when it comes to Windows machines. So it's sitting at the moment. If anybody's got any advice, I'm all ears. The beast that it is on is an i7. It's an HP i7. Can't give you the spec of the actual processor itself, speed of the processor, but it's an i7. But it's sitting behind me with Windows 10 on it, and install Windows isn't an option. Okay, advice, I suppose install Windows isn't. Yeah, it's running on Windows. It's running on Windows 10. Wine. The problem with Wine is that I have tried it, and it does appear to run on the screen, but it basically doesn't seem to talk to the Pluto. But I have tried it, and it does sort of work, but I didn't spend a great deal of time on using Wine. Perhaps I should go down that avenue. But there again, Wine would take up more processing power. So anyhow, but yeah, that's what I've been up to. It's enough waffling from me. And who am I going on to? It's Ed and Co. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Ed and Co. This is M0PIT. Hang on, let's get me test card up. Right, that's my test card up. So over to you.
Right, I'm taking a chance here. 2E0 EHH coming on. I'm just transition over because I didn't get anything of Phil's transmission. Not at all. Good day, good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everybody. Beno, brilliant video, mate, but no sound or very little sound. But yeah, quite impressed with your video. Leon, nice to see you, sir. Tom, as ever, you're the man. Fantastic with software, etc. I've downloaded the OpenTuner, but I'm not sure if it's going to wipe anything out. So, is there an help page where I can get instructions on what to do? Because I'm a bit thick. Martin, good day, sir. You're alright, nothing wrong with your memory, mate. You're dyslexic, you do well, I've got it as well, but just have to keep going. Brian, I can't, yeah, I did get Brian on transmission. Yeah. There's only one out of the group so far is Phil, M0PIT, I didn't get. So, I don't know, and obviously there's Mike after me. What I've been doing this week, well, not a lot on radio. I've been tidying the shack up. I haven't got a shaky can yet. I've got it, but I've not plugged it in. I'm just trying to... no video card. Oh, okay. I'm just looking in the chat, see if there's anything coming up on the chat. So, yeah, lovely this afternoon. It's quite sunshiny. I like typical spring morning or spring day. Sun's out and everything. But yeah, once I get it set, it takes me a long time to get things sorted. So I can't, when I do things, it takes me weeks and weeks and weeks to get around to do it. But that's it. I'm going to pass it on because it's no good sitting here waffling when I ain't got much to say. I might have something. I might try and get a shaky cam up on the second time over. If not, we'll just chat and we'll talk, see if I can get it one on for next week. Anyway, I'm going to hand it over to you, Mike, and surely I'll just put a test card up. I don't know if I've frozen. Anyway, I don't know if it's frozen, so I'm going to cut it back to Mike. M0, MT, MJSC, MJL. Sorry getting your call sign wrong, Mike. I'm going to drop carrier and you can check it. Thanks for that and speak to you second time.
Papa Yankee 2 Sierra Alpha Tango. Will you pass it to Mike? Papa Yankee 2 Sierra Alpha Tango and Co. All the guys around. ZA6 Yankee India. All the guys around.
Okay, I didn't see any sign of it. Maybe they've got an issue. So I'll try passing it around to Ed after me. Maybe, I don't know. Just looking at the chat to see if Gary said anything. He hasn't. So carry on regardless, so to speak. Right, a few things to talk about. Not that many actually, but it might take a while, seeing as Leon mentioned KiCad or KiCad. Right, firstly this thing turned up this week, and quick test of it, seems very nice. Very cheap little power meter, which you can get from the usual suppliers. Came in a couple of weeks. And it only measured 220 watts, but that's fine because I want to measure the input power from my amplifier. So a useful little module, and it has various alerts like higher VSWR or other things. The other thing I was going to talk about is Bluetooth, not Bluetooth. So let me just find the right camera and go over to that. I can hear someone talking in the background, which is confusing me a little bit. Right, so the IC705 does not have any capability of providing band information for applications like turning linear bands on and off for antenna switches. So what we've got here then is an Arduino and a Bluetooth module connected via Bluetooth to the 705. Now I was hoping this camera would zoom in, but it's not letting me zoom in for reasons unknown. So I'll just leave it showing what it's showing at the moment. The little module down to the bottom is a Bluetooth module, HC05. What is stuck on the perf board is just the standard Arduino Nano, and I did try the Arduino with built-in Bluetooth, but it doesn't work because it hasn't got the right type of Bluetooth. It's got Bluetooth low energy, which doesn't seem to be compatible with the 705. Anyway, it didn't take too long once I'd got everything working to get some form of communications, and it took a long time to find the bugs. But very little software required, and you can twiddle the tuning and it will update the image, but it seems the camera seems to have frozen up. That's not going to happen, so I'm just going to come back to me and I'm going to have another go with the camera to see if I can persuade it to do something. The other issue, of course, is that when you're transmitting on QO-100, Bluetooth's not the best thing to be trying to demonstrate, but I think you could see it had 160 meters and 1846 up on its display, and that is what the radio is showing. If I tune it around a bit, it might change, but only once I managed to get the camera to come back online. So bear with me on that one. Maybe on the next over. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about then was KiCad. So if I go over to the other bench, and this is for you, Leon. So, having made that Bluetooth module on a bit of board, of course, I wanted to make a KiCad version. So, here you are. Hopefully you can see that. So that's been drawn in KiCad, and maybe you've managed to work out how to do that and how to do symbols and things. It takes a little bit of a while, but it's not that hard really. And this is a very simple circuit. So starting with that, oops. You then go to design a PCB, and here is the PCB, which has been designed this morning. Didn't take me very long because it's not got that many parts on it. And one of the good things that KiCad has is a 3D rendering capability, so it's very useful to see how things fit. Here's the module, here's the Arduino, here's the CIV connector for going to other Icon radios should you desire. Here's the connector giving band output. I should say this module, apart from reading the frequency and displaying it on the LCD, outputs a set of band logic levels which come out of this connector, which will help select the right band on the amplifier. Anyway, that's what you get with KiCad. Now, if you go back to the PCB designer and you want to produce it, you go to a thing called plot, and that will come up with a whole load of defaults. Now you need to set these up to a sensible set of settings, but they should be actually pretty much ideal for JLC PCB. Then all you do is you click on plot, and that's just made my Gerbers. And then of course don't forget the drill file, so generate your drill file, generate your map file, generate a report file if you like. I don't usually bother with that. Close it, and we have a whole load of Gerbers. Now, if I then go to, the directory that I produced this in, you'll see the Gerbers are all in there. There's a previous set of Gerbers from a different version. You can inspect those within KiCad and send them off to JLC. Basically put them into a zip file and that's it. All done. Very easy to do once you get the hang of it. So that's a little bit more about KiCad. Okay, when I fix the camera next time I will come back. I think it goes round to Ed Mark II. Try again, Ed. And if that doesn't work, I guess Gary will pick it up. G0MJW.
He did come up on our list. Just wanted to see. Yeah, he came up as Papa Yankee 2 Sierra Alpha Tango. But I don't see him on. Right. Very interesting again there, Mike. Beautiful PC board layout there. And it's interesting that the 705 is just going to automatically, as you change band, of course, bring in the right satellite, the right amplifier, sorry. Just want to see. Right, we do have a friend, David, Mike 5, Tango, X-Ray Juliet, and that's him. He's having a bit of fun, as you can see. I'm not sure where he is. I can find out in a minute. I think he said he's in 9 Hotel, wherever the hell that might be. But he's having catching a suntan, there's no doubt. So all good. Very nice indeed. So Dave's back on TV. Right. What I want to also say is welcome the many viewers on YouTube. Albert, Ocean November 4 Alpha Hotel. A very good afternoon to you. Always on frequency. Nice to see you or have you on, Albert. Stuart, ZR6 Whiskey Tango. And then another Stuart, ZR6 Delta Lima Papa. It's the first time I've seen Stuart number 2 on. Welcome, Stuart. And then ZS6 X-Ray Uniform. Hello, Stephen. It's the second time I've seen you on. I hope you're enjoying the chit-chat on this frequency. John G7 JTT is on watching. John, I hope it's going well, and I hope the last bit of chemo hasn't been too stressful, but we wish you well, fella, and nice to have you on YouTube. And then Ohan, ZS1 Sierra Charlie India, he's purchased a lot of receiver components. I think they are arriving soon. Then he'll be able to put his mini tuner in order. And then Miguel, Charlie Tango 3 Fox Mike. Charlie Tango 3 Fox Mike, Miguel. Nice to see you on. And then Toby, also quite on quite often, Delta Lima 7 Tango Juliet. Welcome, guys. And let me see if there's anyone else. That was the last one I saw on the list there. I just want to see what my power output is. Yeah, still working well. Thanks to Leon's fancy machine. And he sent me the very sensitive 100 milliwatt probe. So now we waxed. We can go from about 3 kilowatts down to less than a milliwatt. We can measure. So that's all good. Okay. What I'm going to do is go down the list again. And then, let me just cut this darn thing. Too many buttons here today. I just want to see. Beno has gone. Beno, very interesting on that 25-meter dish. Gums, you know, you remind me, you say you're portable, but you got a 25-meter dish in the backyard there. It reminds me of the Texan that went to Australia, and he was telling the Australian everything is bigger and better in Texas. And eventually he came across a kangaroo, and he couldn't believe what he'd seen. He asked the Australian, "What's that?" And the Australian said, "Oh, that's a grasshopper." Right. Leon, back to you. ZS1 Mike. If you want to, give a pause for Ed, Papa Yankee 2 Sierra Alpha Tango. Perhaps he's got his TX sorted. If not, you take it, Leon, but give him a bit of a gap if you don't mind. ZS1 Mike. Possibly Papa Alpha, sorry, as you were, Papa Yankee 2 Sierra Alpha Tango from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
Unfortunately, no Papa Yellow 2. Okay, Gary. Yeah, that's a good one. A grasshopper. Yeah. Okay, yes, I'm still amazed at Beno's station there. It's really working fine, and the signal quality was good for such a small dish. Really good. Tom, okay, you carry on with all your magic there. I can't talk about that because I don't know what goes on there. Martin, a Millard 520, my goodness, I also built one in 1973. But I wound the output transformer myself. Man, was it a job. And I didn't use enameled wire. No. Double cotton covered wire. With all those interleaved stages. You know, the secondary is not just a secondary. So many turns primary, then a layer of secondary. Then so many turns of primary, and then... Oh, but man, did it work, hey? That Mullard 520. Oh, yeah. Fantastic amplifier. What did I do with it in the end? And my chassis, one of the banks in South Africa, which was called the Netherlands Bank of South Africa, changed their name to Nedbank. And the old plates, at that stage my brother used to work in the bank, and the old name plates were solid copper. And he brought me one of those, and I made the chassis out of that solid copper bank name plate. So yes, it really worked well. Amazing fidelity. Anyway, right, and yeah, your amplifier with the heat sinks and the fans and stuff, it looks very neat, and I'm sure it works well. That's good. Okay, Brian, the package in Emirates. Good heavens. At least it's moving, and if it's there, it's going by airmail, which is another plus point, another bonus. So let's hope it finally reaches us there. If it goes via our post office, as I told you, I'll never see it. But if it comes by any form of courier, I will definitely get it. Right, and thanks for your trouble so far, Brian. It's highly appreciated. That plane is standing now. It's just waiting for that one little chip, because we can't fly without it. You know, that's a problem with these glass cockpit things nowadays. If you lose something there, you lose a whole lot of instruments. I still prefer the old mechanical instruments. You know, if you have a failure, it's just one instrument down. But that thing, now there's no horizontal artificial horizon. There's no cylinder head temperature. There's no exhaust gas temperature. There's no fuel flow sensing. A lot of things are just gone. All you have now is a normal altimeter and a vertical speed indicator and the airspeed indicator. That's all you have, because the rest is all on the glass cockpit. So can't fly that plane now. Waiting for Brian's package. Okay. Right. The Mullet 520. Yeah. Phil, the PC board making and stuff. Yeah. I've been making boards for more than 40 years. Yeah, about 45 years I've been making my own PC boards. And obviously you're getting better and more refined and so on. And yes, I've been using, for the last 35 years, I've been using Tango, which I bought the program when PCs came out and you could buy a PC and buy the program for it. And I never used the schematic. It takes too long. I'm always in a hurry when I want a board. So I make a pencil schematic, you know. As I design the thing in my head, I draw it out in pencil. Yeah, okay, it's going to work. And then I start directly on the PCB design. I never ever used the schematic part of the program. And then I lay out the thing and fine. But Tango being so old, the Gerber files, there's something about the Gerber files that the modern PC people cannot process. So there was only one place in Cape Town that could do it. But I never sent mine there because I used to do it myself. And the drill files and everything, that's not a problem. But now that place is closed down, so now I'm forced to use the new people, and now I used to have to use KiCad, which I know absolutely nothing about. It's a very nice program, fantastic, all the features and stuff on it. Oh man, really nice. So I must learn it. And Mike, thanks very much for that. I recorded your over, so that's going to help, I'm sure. I'll just have to spend more time with it. I want the boards made because we need the amplifiers, but it's pointless taking a chance, you know, sending them a lot of hogwash and you get things back that's no good. So I must make sure that what I send them is valid and that I'm going to get usable boards. It's going to be a small board. It's going to be maybe 20 millimeters long by maybe 15 millimeters wide, if that much. I don't want to make it too small. But it's just that one chip, which is a very nice 2.4 gig little amplifier, 1 watt output. I only need 300 milliwatts for the application. It's fully linear. I think it's a 3-stage amplifier, and it runs on 5 volts. No extra bias. Everything is done internally, and it's matched. So yeah. Okay, so thanks very much for that, Mike. Phil, your Pluto problems, yeah, that's interesting. i7 shouldn't have a problem. It's the wrong brand name, unfortunately. They are rather slow, those particular ones, computers, but even that should be i5 should run it. What I did find in the beginning with my Pluto, you know, they said, no, give it extra 5 volts on the other port. I tried that, it didn't work. Use a very short USB cable, didn't work. In the end, I've got a long, I think it's a 2-meter USB cable, and I'm only using that one cable, but it's a very good quality cable. Never a problem again. The Pluto is here somewhere. I don't even look where it is. It just works. When I fire up the PC, the Pluto works. So have a look at your cable feeding the Pluto. That definitely has an effect. And contrary to all the things about give it extra power and so on and so on, it doesn't need it. If your cable is good and the port, use a rear port on the PC, not a front port. Use a rear USB port. Okay, did I? Yeah, PC board making, the Pluto, yeah. Nigel, your station is now really working well. Your video is good, your audio is nice and present. Just your lip sync is still out, but that you can fiddle with. But everything else in your station is now really working well, and you didn't freeze here. You were actually nicely superimposed on your test card. So it looked very nice, and the test card obviously was stationary, but you were moving. No freezing here. But Nigel, what worries me is you said that you didn't get anything from Phil. Now, Phil's over was perfect with me. No hiccups, nothing. Fluent. So I don't know what type of receiver you're using, Nigel, but I've often heard you say that you're not getting the people and they're freezing, or you're not getting anything. You must have a look there. It's something in your reception business is not right, because Phil was perfect with me. Everybody, I'm receiving everybody perfectly. And I've just got a very basic receiver setup. Okay, that is it. So, Beno's gone. Tom, I give it back to you with all your fancy bits and bytes. ZR6 Tango Golf for the group. ZS1 Mike.
Thanks there, Leon. ZS1 Mike, ZR6 Tango Golf. I actually think somebody came on top of me. It's quite a strong signal. I wonder if that wasn't maybe Ed. So I'm just going to cut carrier here and see if Ed wants to come in there. Ed, Papa Yankee 2, SAT. ZR6 Tango Golf. Let's see if you're there. Okay, no, it doesn't look like it. Okay, thanks there, Leon. ZS1 Mike here from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf. Okay, I actually have a few more things to show. Speaking of the, well, let me just make sure I don't have any music playing. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So, speaking of the South African Postal Service, which is non-existent, so I ordered a few things from the BATC a while back. Well, not that long back, but I convinced Noel that I'll pay extra money so that it can come via DHL, because yeah, normal postage doesn't work in South Africa. If it's not couriered, then we're not going to see it. So anyways, he sent me a package via DHL at great cost, and received it last week. Was it early this week? But the package got a decent knock. It was well packaged, but it still managed to get a knock. I want to show, this is not for sensitive viewers. Just switch to the bench cam here. Hopefully the sound still works there. Let's just see. Yeah, okay, there's still sound. So this is one of the NIMs that was in the package. You can see it bent there, squashed there. It's very sad. I almost cried there when I received it. So I'm gonna take off the metal shell and see if it's recoverable. With a bit of luck, it's mostly just the outside that's bent and some pins that's bent. But no, yeah, Mike, no idea if it still works. I need to open it up and and have a look. But yeah, it was definitely a very sad moment. And then actually, a night before, I did actually build something physical lately. So you guys have seen the Jimny that I'm busy setting up for getting out there and doing some mobile, just the radio in general. And I realized that with some of the places that I'm planning on going to, I'm gonna have to do something about power. And thanks, Adolf. Well, let me see if what's, you know, what the inside looks like. Anyway, so I'm putting something together to power radio equipment on the, you know, on these 4x4 trips, and, you know, going into the middle of nowhere. So I started putting together this. Well, I have put it together. It's working. Let me see if I can show it there. So this is a hard case, standard empty hard case that I got, and inside it I put in a 20 amp hour lithium battery, a solar charge controller, so I can charge it from solar, and then I also let's see. Oh yeah, the camera's over there. Also got some plugs onto that. So I've got on-off switch there. I've got normal USB ports, you know, for the normal stuff. Then I've got a Anderson plug there. That's gonna give you a nice 12 volt output there. And that Anderson plug there, I still need to label it, and I'm probably gonna change the Anderson plug to a different color. But that one takes a input for charging. And then what I'm gonna do for charging is this gadget. You can see it's a nice 200 watt foldable solar panel. So the idea, remember in the Jimny, I don't have a lot of space in general, and weight issues as well. So I need to keep it nice and small. So this one folds up, still weighs a bit. But this one folds up nice into a little bag. So I've got a nice 200 watt power supply, or solar panel, to keep the little box charged as well. So I still need to do some tests on the box itself. I've been charging drones and various other bits and pieces around the home. and it's working fine. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. Just put that down. And then also the solar charge controller that I put in there is one of the Victron ones. So it's got a, I call it a, I think it's a VE direct port on it, which is essentially just a simple serial port. So I want to put together a little Pico with LCD so that I can just monitor and stuff like that. I took the cheaper one so it doesn't have the Bluetooth in there, but I especially wanted the direct port for Arduino or Raspberry Pi or whatever to control it. But it, yeah, I'm quite chuffed with how it turned out, and it's nice and small, and it's not light, but it's not heavy either with the lithium battery. Okay, and then some comments. Beno, Leon, yeah, said there. Martin, yeah, it's nice amp setup you've got going there. Regarding the FFmpeg versus VLC, I've had that idea sometimes as well, but the reality of it as well is how quickly it starts showing your picture on the VLC depends on where in the transport stream you tune to it, because it will literally wait for data to go past until it receives a sync byte on the transport to start off cleanly. So you'll notice some transmissions, you click on it and it feels a tad bit longer than others to basically go from tuning to the signal and showing on the picture, and it's just because the open tuner is waiting for that that sync byte. Brian, yeah, I'll send you a little tutorial that allows you to just set up some boot code. I still need to dig it out, it's on my list. But yeah, the clock there is looking nice, and I'm glad you got it sorted there. But I'll send you the instructions there. Phil, you'll be glad to know that since you're the Linux man, one of the things that I'm working on, I'm busy converting it over, is actually getting a Linux version of OpenTuner going. It still uses .NET, but it's a slightly different framework so that it can be ran on Linux and also even on the Mac OS. So as soon as I've got something ready there, I'm going to send you a version, and then you can try it out as well. Nigel, good to see you there as well. Yeah, like Leon said, your signal and everything is fine. There is no real manual for OpenTuner yet, purely because it's been changing so drastically. I started putting something together, but it changes a lot every or every week or so. So I'm gonna put something together as soon as it starts settling a bit more. I'm already doing changes. It's gonna change the look and feel of it. So it's a bit pointless to do a manual right now. But feel free to play with it, and if there's a specific thing you're stuck on, then just ask her, it's not a problem. Mike, yeah, I like that little Bluetooth 7 setup on the 705. I've been thinking about getting that ICOM 705. It's still a bit pricey, especially after the Rand-dollar conversions. So I'm still in two minds about it, but I like the aspect of the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi. There's already quite a few apps and hardware things I can think of to design for it. So I'm saving up my my coffee money to get one of those. So we'll see how it goes. Who did I miss? Ed wasn't there. Yeah, I think that's everybody. Okay, well, I'm not going to be doing much OpenTuner the coming week. I will be in. Yeah, $1,000 doesn't convert well to South African rand. Yeah, so I'll be off to Durban this week for work. So whatever I can't get done on OpenTuner today will unfortunately have to wait till later this week. And but yeah, I'll continue doing stuff on it. And thanks for everybody that's been sending emails and feature requests and bug reports. I haven't replied to everything yet. There's just too much at this point, but I will get to it. But thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Okay. That was me. That was a long over. Sorry about that. I'm going to give it there to Martin, G8KOE, here from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf. 73, everybody. Have a good week.
Okay, Brian, the package in Emirates. at least it's moving, and if it's there, it's going by airmail, which is another plus point, another bonus. So it's hoping that it finally reaches.
Tá falando por satélite e tá
If
todo
it
mundo
goes via
recebendo.
our post office, as I
Tá
told
todo
you,
mundo
I will
recebendo.
receive it. But if it comes by any form of courier, I will definitely get it.
Isso aqui, ó. Interferente.
Right, thanks for your help so far. It's highly appreciated. That plane is standing now. It's just waiting for that one little chip, because we can't fly without it. You know, that's a problem with these glass cockpit things nowadays. If you lose something there, you lose a whole lot of instruments. I still prefer the old mechanical instruments. You know, if you have a failure, it's just one instrument down. But that thing,
O português chegou para mim essa semana.
Ah, é? É. Acho que eu tentei junto com ele.
Aí eu uso em HS.
Foi. É nós, né?
Não,
É?
é nosso.
Sim. Nós estamos na lateral. Vê se dá um pouco. Quanto tempo vai ser? Deixa eu passar 50, tá bom? 50. Olha aí embaixo. 92, 91 watts. Tá bom? Como é que nós estamos?
Pelo jeito,
tá bom.
Bem. Você é acima de todo mundo, ó.
O pessoal tá.
Você está em 250.
Eu vou parar, tá? Vou desligar.
Não, tá ótimo. Segundo. Tá ótimo. Isso, segundo.
Vamos voltar lá de novo.
Põe de novo.
9.
O meu transmite 28 megas. Vai entrar? Vai entrar?
Entrei já. Perto. Hello.
Hello, brother.
Ele vai falar. Let me see if I'm receiving myself.
Vem, sobe!
Just a second.
Ele que foi comigo pro Santa Catarina. Não, você quer?
Não entrou?
São Paulo. Quem tá aí contigo, é o Dirk?
Não.
Alô? Vamos ver se ele recebe a gente. Vamos ver. De zero, vamos ver se vai.
Não, mas você falou longe.
Vamos só ver se recebe. Let's see if we can receive ourselves.
Pô, você não tem rádio bom, é ruim, cara. Você só usa rádio porcaria.
Ah, cara.
590, 600,
Velho.
590, 900.
Ok, pessoal. A gente está ao vivo. Ok. This is Papa Yankee 2, Sierra Alpha Tango, Hockey, with many friends here from Brazil. We are transmit online from the truck, from the PY2 SAT trunk. And here, guys, I'm gonna show you something. This is Hugo.
Hello.
What's your
Papa Yankee 2, uniform, go for Oscar.
And you, William?
Hello everyone, Papa Yankee 2, Whiskey Delta X-Ray.
Papa Yankee 2, Italy Sugar.
Okay, and we have aquí the famous
PY2 VA.
PY2 VA, Angelo.
Okay.
Papa Yankee 2, Alpha Echo. Good morning to you all.
And we have
Papa Uniform 2, Victor Lima Whiskey, height wall.
okay. Now I'm gonna let you hear with Hugo. Hugo is gonna speak. Keep Hugo. Eu vou sair lá fora.
Show the Hello everybody. Hockey show the truck, the outside. Yeah. The front of the truck. All the shows in Ibiúna, São Paulo. Continua transmitindo aí? Yeah. Áudio.
Pelo celular ele fez um link aqui.
Yeah. Tá indo aí, Hugo?
Tá saindo.
Vai embora aqui, não. Agora é meio-dia e meia. Vamos almoçar.
Deixa eu só ver se a gente consegue pegar o retorno aqui.
Vamos almoçar.
Vocês estão transmitindo agora? Estamos transmitindo áudio. Manda um everybody aí para um hello.
Hi everybody.
Acho que só que o vídeo tá deve ser
we're getting problems with the reception here. Seems.
Não, o vídeo tá com a câmerazinha do nosso
Rock.
só que
O Rock tá. Okay. We are in an external camera at the moment. But do they have our audio, local audio here?
Yes, okay. yes, local audio.
But we cannot decode ourselves? No? We have to increase the power. Huh?
Separar o vídeo para avisar ele que tá se afastando lá.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's the fairgrounds. It's lots of people. I believe Rocket's camera doesn't have audio, so.
Eu acho que tá pegando áudio lá também.
Não,
somente esse, não, só tá pegando esse.
Começando a ficar.
Yeah, he's coming back to the truck. So, Papa Uniforme to Romeo Quebec Victor, which is in the external. Hey, we have some kids. We have Papa Yankee 2 Uniform Golf Oscar, Papa Yankee 2 Whiskey Delta X-Ray.
Senta aqui, ó.
Você sabe falar inglês? Sabe falar inglês? Fala assim, hello everybody, e o seu nome?
Hello everybody?
Yeah, what's your name?
Hello everybody. My name is Ana Luisa.
How old are you?
Quantos anos você tem?
Eu não lembro como.
8, 9, 8, 9, quantos anos você tem?
She's trying to remember how old she is.
Eu tenho 8.
She's 8 years old.
Handed back to me, but I'll take it and keep an eye on things. I'm not sure it was handed back. But, well, that was interesting pictures. I'm getting out of focus. Let's do something about the light in here. Yeah, I don't run with OpenTuner. Let's go to I've got FFmpeg on the top and VLC on the bottom, and half the time, well, a lot of the time, the sound was better on with the FFmpeg, but the picture was better on the VLC side of things, or it varied around, changing quite considerably. But it's confusing having get rid of something else on the top one. There we go. Yeah, what I was going to say to you there, Tom, is it possible to have the signal report on the bottom tuner 2 as well? And also the fact you can move and obviously change things. Can it remember that position? I always run it in this way, 50-50 sort of type thing or thereabouts. And for me, I could fit in with the large screen, 2 more screens of this size, 2 more alongside as such, so I could have 4 pictures on the one display. Whether that was what you were asking earlier, I must have lost. But I do like the external tools, which I set up for MPV.net, which kicks in, and I can use that if I want to give me a full screen, etc, etc, etc. But it's just so many functions that you keep adding. I can understand why you don't write a manual on it yet. I don't think it's one of those things that will ever quite be finished, but it must. But it's fantastic. Absolutely, do like it a lot. Spent ages playing with it. Oh, they're there now. Mobile truck's moved a little bit. So we can stick it on the top as well. So both pretty rock solid at the moment. So the top is FFmpeg and the bottom is VLC. What I was going to say is Phil, M0PIT's signal, I found it froze occasionally on VLC, which is the bottom of the two windows. But on FFmpeg, it didn't freeze at all. But it would restart on VLC. But that's all I found. I didn't really miss very much, but I did suffer some stuttering using VLC. Oh yeah, transfers, etc. I remember the PCBs that I've made have been with Dalo pens, actually drawing on the board, or even some transfers that sticking on. But it's going back a lot of years. Yeah, I made sure I was still working, although yeah, it's caught up. Yeah, and thanks for the info there, Tom, on why there's sort of. If I'm monitoring myself on FFmpeg on the top and VLC on the bottom, the top one will always start first. It's sort of there, then it's the bottom one. It's that sort of time difference, but it's just something I noticed. But yeah, absolutely thrilled with the program and the little additions you've done so far. And as I think I said with the chat, it's that I can read it now that you've made it with the yellow and the dark background, etc. You don't have to increase the size of the text, so my tired eyes, it works a treat. Anyway, that's enough waffle for me. It's supposed to be a short one. Yes, and yeah, I may put some automatic chunking on the fans there, Brian. I've got a board that will control it all, but I did find that it produced a lot of hash on the HF bands, so it wasn't so good. So I may do something a little bit more simple. But at the moment, as soon as I put power to the PA, fans come on. But I can change that. All right, I think that's enough waffle for me. Been a good net. Thanks, Gary, for running it as usual. I was a bit worried that it wasn't going to happen when I hadn't seen you testing earlier before the net. Anyway, round to you there, Brian. G6HFS to take it. I'll stick a test card and disappear. 7-3's all.
Okay. Got audio? Okay. Yes, that sounds fine. Yeah, okay. A good afternoon. All very interesting. I did put a note up on the chat saying that PY2SAT Ed had no audio, but does help if you unmute it. I don't know what I was doing or thinking. And yeah, okay, not got a great deal to add apart from a good net. Yeah, okay, mounting on the amp. Yeah, I've noticed that actually, a bit of HF hash when I've got the amp running. Actually, I don't get it when the amp's not on or the fans are going. But certainly while I'm transmitting, it certainly puts on a few S points on HF, which is weird considering the frequency and where all the aerials are quite distant from each other. And I'll just say thanks to Tom as well. ZR6TG. Yeah, understand. It's a Software's a bit of a learning curve for me. Designing PCB, using CAD for PCBs, designing circuits, tinkering like that, building, yeah, I'm fine. That's one of these dark arts is the software. I tried to learn it a long time ago. The two I only played with was back in the early days when you didn't have such things as fancy graphics cards. Just had 1K of memory and machine code, and Z80s and 6502s, and then progressed on to the BBC. That was about it for me. I think I did learn fourth for a project I wanted to do, build my own colour slow scan unit many years ago, but the old grey matter can't handle it anymore. Right, I'll say good afternoon all, and oh, just one note for Leon. Yeah, no, I didn't do land post. It was actually a proper courier service, one of the local courier services here. So it has left via courier here, and it's tracked all the way, so it definitely shouldn't land up in the local post, hopefully. And Tom, yeah, bit of a crunch tuner there. I hope you can get that rectified, because I don't think there's anything left in the shop now, is there, in the way of replacements, until they find something that'll suitably replace it, or have to use a little header interface or something. But I'll leave it to the Mikes, the 0MJWs and people of this world, I think, on that. Anyway, I'll say good afternoon. It's enough chit chat, so I'll sign out. Thanks much, guys. G6HFS round 2.
Right, there we go. Let's turn, yeah, turn the audio down. Don't want too much feedback. I just wound up the power a little bit. Let's have a look. Let's give it a little bit more. That's going to make any difference. There you go. Just a little bit more power. Yeah, great net as always. Yeah, really enjoy it. Leon, yeah, your USB cable. I hadn't thought of that. I will try. I will try and have a play around with the USB cable. I've got various cables kicking around. Even got a nice big long one there, but allegedly they're supposed to be pretty good. But I think that one there, I don't know what the spec is, but I would have thought that was out of spec. But I do have a few different ones, so I will try those and see if it makes any difference. In terms of the amount of processing utilization, it looks quite low. It looks, I can't remember what the figures are. It's below 20%, way below 20%. So I would have thought that it would work quite happily on an i7. But anyhow, we shall see. As I say, I'm not a Windows guy. I'm not. Me and Bill Gates don't really get on, but that's another story. Tom, your damaged tuner, your parcel. I suppose in the UK we're quite lucky, really. Our postal service is pretty good. Yeah, it does go wrong occasionally, but I've never received any items that have been damaged in our postal service. Courier, it's a different story. But on our postal service, I've never had anything that has been damaged. Perhaps I'm just lucky, but there you go. But I don't know about South Africa postal service, but from what I hear from you guys, it's not very good. But what I found, the only other experience I've got of postal services is out in Ukraine, of all places. And I find that really strange out there, because if you want items delivered by the postal service, you actually pay by bulk and not by weight. We had to get quite a lot of tinned food over to the east, and we did it via the postal service. But we also had some bedding and duvets, and of course they're much more bulky than basically, you know, tinned food. And it was the bulk, it was the duvets, which didn't really weigh a lot, it was that was costing all the money. I found that very strange, but anyhow, that's how they do it out there. It's done on bulk and not on weight. And also, like your 200 watt voltaic cells, yeah, that you can fold up like that. I haven't really had any experience of voltaic cells and charging batteries, etc., from the sun. Maybe something that I should have a look at, but I certainly don't have any experience. But it did look very interesting. And as for testing of Linux code, yeah, you got any Linux code, I'm more than happy to test it. My machines here run Linux. I've got a couple of test machines that have got Linux on it that I can trash at any time. I also got that Windows one sitting behind me, which I feel like trashing, but that's another story. I mustn't go on about it. But there you go. Gary, thanks for the net, mate. It's yeah, really good. It makes a nice afternoon on the net, talking to everybody. It's really great, and yeah, thanks for running it. I'm not sure who I'm going to hand it over to now. I suppose it could be Ed. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to hand it over. I'm going to hand it over to Mike, and I suppose Mike will just hang on in just case Ed jumps in. So this is M0PIT. I'm going to go QRT after the end of the net. So have a good week, guys, and see you soon.
I can see Eddie's actually transmitting further down the band. Just switch to the desktop, and there they are. And there's me, who's going to go through a feedback loop like Martin did. Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry about that crushed NIM. Tom, hopefully you can get it fixed, because they've become obsolete, unobtainable, haven't they? So I don't know if you can get any more. I don't know, maybe there are one or two left, but there won't be that many left now. So that's the end of those. So we need to find a solution to a new version to replace it for people who come along late. Right, let's see if the bench camera is working this time, because it locked up before. Yes, it's working. Right, good. So you can see the LED flashing. Now I'm going to go over to the, well, it's not the go over to, I'm going to change band to 80 meters, and well, it did it, which is interesting because the transmitter's going at the moment as well. There's no physical connection between the 705 and the LCD there. That Nano has only got a USB power supply plugged into it, so it's entirely not connected. And yeah, so it'll do all the bands, and when I get around to defining which lines, which I've done now in that piece of hardware, I could go and check that I got the schematic right again. We'll see In fact, it is our net at the moment. And if I switch around, you won't see what I'm switching, but you should at least see frequencies moving around. There we go. Good. Okay, I don't think I got that much else to comment on, so quite a nice net today. It's taken quite a long time, I noticed, nearly 2 hours. Ed is still going on there in the background, but if he is watching, Ed, you haven't got any nulls, 0 nulls, which was causing some issues when you were moving the fast-moving video to some people. I was okay with the sound, but the video broke up a few times, but otherwise okay. Just a little bit extra work to get those null packets up so that you've at least got some. Just reduce the video bandwidth a bit and it'll be really good from that mobile system. It looks like you're having a nice hamfest there in Brazil. I think I need to pass it to Gary, but it might be Ed, or it could be Nigel, because Nigel's not on the list, but he popped up earlier, so who knows. Let's just put up a test card and see. G0 MJW.
Okay. Anyway, all right, very, very good indeed, and been very interesting. I also want to just say hello to Rolf, Delta Juliet 7 Tango Hotel. Hope you're keeping well, Rolf. Nice to hear from you. And yeah, I see Tom gave you the link. That's just the link we use every week to do the DATV signal we transmitted on, or stream it via YouTube as well. And hello to Hans, Papa Alpha 3 Echo Tango Kilo, and of course to Rolf Delta Juliet 7 Tango Hotel. All right, it was good seeing Ed. Here's something interesting that I noticed, and that was on the ride. I'm using a ride receiver to stream directly into YouTube, and the audio on the ride was fine. I'm talking about Ed's audio, no choppiness, nothing. So that's quite interesting. I can't say if it was all the way perfect, but it seemed that way when I just quickly played a little bit back. So there we go. That's something different. Right. With that, I'm going to close the net. Wish everybody a very happy week. I saw Roger came up earlier with a test, and he said had his license since the 10th of May 1973, 50 years. Well, on the 17th of May this year, it will be mine 50 years. So we had a week apart. We got our 2 call signs received at a week apart exactly. And I see he's been a member of the RSGB since 1969, and I've been a member of the South African Radio League since 1969. How's that for a coincidence? Roger, if you're watching, you put a nice signal through earlier this afternoon, and noted, Martin, that you thought we weren't testing. I've been darn busy. I had to go to the salt mine, or the work. We call it the salt mine. We're trying a new mold, and they hadn't got it right. So this morning we had to quickly jump in, but it came out beautifully. Thank goodness, because it's got to go to Ford tomorrow morning. So there we go. Saved by just by the bell. Right, with that, I'm going to just close the net. We wish everybody on frequency a happy week, and we see each other next week, all being well. And once again, congratulations to the chaps in the UK on the coronation. That went off very, very well indeed. My wife and I watched the whole thing, so it was great. 7-3 all. This is Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India closing the net, bidding everyone happy week.